I fell for the person I least expected.
And that's the honest truth. If you had told me, way back then, that he would be the one, I would have just laughed. Seriously, I would have thought it was a joke. He wasn't my type. Not even close. He wasn't the kind of person I noticed in a crowded room. He wasn't even on my radar. Not on my long list or my short list of possibilities. He was just there. We were just around each other, you know? We'd show up at the same places, fall into the same routines. The conversations we had, they only started out of convenience. Never genuine interest. We talked because we had to, because our paths crossed. Not because I was looking for something more.
Or at least, that's what I kept telling myself.
He was so different from the people I usually found myself attracted to. He was quieter, a lot more thoughtful, less obvious. He didn't have this need to impress everyone around him, to be the center of attention. He just existed, and he seemed so comfortable in his own skin. And over time, without me even realizing it, our conversations started to change. They grew longer. They went so much deeper. We started talking about our lives, our biggest fears, all these things we'd never dreamed of sharing with anyone else. Even then, I still didn't think it was love. I rationalized it. I told myself it was just curiosity, a deep connection, but nothing serious. It was just a phase, a friendship that was a bit more intense than usual. That's all. But slowly, without any warning, without my permission, he became familiar. He became the source of comfort in my life. He became important. And the scariest part of it all, I didn't even notice when it started. There was no single moment, no lightning strike. It was a slow burn, a gradual shift that I was completely blind to. I remember one day, I was having a really tough time. Nothing was going right. And the first person I wanted to talk to, the only person I felt could understand, was him. That was the moment it hit me. My brain was still trying to deny it, but my heart already knew. I was looking for him in every room. I was thinking about his laugh when I was alone. His opinions started to matter more than they should have. It's funny how your heart can make a decision long before your head catches up. My mind was so stuck on this idea of a type, this checklist I had created, and he didn't tick a single box. But what I learned is that love doesn't care about your checklist. It doesn't care about your plans or what you think you want. It shows up in the most unexpected places, with the most unexpected people. This person who was once just part of the background, a familiar face in my daily routine, had quietly become the most important person in my world. He wasn't the person I thought I was looking for, but he turned out to be everything I never knew I needed. He saw me for who I really was, beyond the surface, and I saw him too. And that's a connection far more real than any checklist. I used to believe in those whirlwind movie romances, the love at first sight stories. But my story, our story, was different. It was subtle. It was built on hundreds of small moments, countless late-night talks, and a friendship that accidentally blossomed into something so much more. It wasn't a loud declaration. It was a quiet realization. It snuck up on me and changed everything. And looking back, I wouldn't have it any other way. Sometimes, the best love stories are the ones you never see coming. They're the ones that challenge what you think you know about love and about yourself. They rewrite your rules and show you that the most beautiful things in life often come from the places you least expect. The moment I realized I was falling for him wasn't loud. It wasn't some grand, cinematic event with swelling music and dramatic confessions. No, it was quiet. So quiet. In fact, that I almost missed it. It started with the small things, the almost imperceptible shifts in my own behavior. I noticed that I cared more than I probably should. I started noticing his absence long before I registered his presence. It was like a part of my day was missing if he wasn't there. Then, I began to see how my mood was tied to his. If he was having a bad day, a shadow fell over mine. If he was happy, the world seemed a little brighter. These little observations were just the beginning. Soon, they were followed by questions. Questions that I couldn't seem to shake.
Why did it not form in my stomach when I saw someone else make him laugh?
Why did his silence bother me so much? leaving me to wonder what was on his mind. Why did his smile linger in my thoughts for hours after he was gone? I'd replay it in my head, the way the corners of his eyes crinkled. These weren't the kinds of questions you ask about just a friend. And slowly, almost reluctantly, the truth started to assemble itself in my mind. A truth that felt impossible to ignore. I was falling for him. And the scariest part, he was the person I never considered. The one I never, ever planned for. He was the one I least expected. My mind had a type, a checklist, a plan. And he wasn't on it at all. And that realization was terrifying. Because unexpected love doesn't give you time to prepare your heart. It doesn't send a warning text or an email notification. It just shows up, unannounced, and completely changes the way you see everything. Suddenly, the entire landscape of my life had shifted. From that point on, every little thing between us felt different. It was like the volume had been turned up on our interactions. Every casual conversation suddenly meant more. I would analyze his words, his tone, searching for hidden meanings that probably weren't even there. Every moment we spent together felt heavier, more significant. Every laugh we shared felt deeply personal, like a secret just between the two of us. The air between us crackled with a new kind of energy, and I wasn't sure what to do with it.
I genuinely tried to stop myself. I really did.
I had long, serious talks with myself in the mirror. I told myself this wasn't smart, that it was complicated, and didn't make any logical sense. I listed all the reasons why it was a bad idea, why I should just push these feelings down and move on.
I tried to build walls around my heart to keep him in the friend category where he was supposed to be.
I reasoned with myself, bargained with myself, and tried to convince myself that it was just a passing phase, a temporary lapse in judgment. But here's the thing I learned. Love doesn't care about logic. It doesn't listen to your well-thought-out plans or your pro and con lists. It doesn't care if it's convenient or if the timing is right. It just happens. It's a force of nature. Like a tide you can't fight. And no matter how hard I tried to swim against it, I was being pulled under. The feelings weren't going away.
They were only getting stronger, more undeniable with each passing day.
The quiet realization had turned into a constant hum in the background of my life. A hum that was slowly becoming the only song I could hear. And I was beginning to realize that maybe, just maybe, I didn't want it to stop. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Sometimes the best things in life are the ones we never see coming.
For a long time, I fought it. I really did.
I tried to convince myself it was just friendship, just a passing feeling.
But at some point, you just have to stop fighting and face the truth.
Even if you have no idea where that truth is going to lead you. The truth was, I was falling for the person I least expected to. And you know what?
Maybe that's exactly why it felt so real.
Think about it. When we have a type or a dream person in our minds, we're building a fantasy. We're in love with an idea, an illusion. We project this perfect image onto someone and hope they live up to it. But this was different. There was no fantasy, no illusion, no perfect image I was trying to fit him into. It was just us. Just two people, slowly, almost accidentally, getting closer. This kind of love, the unexpected kind, it doesn't operate on a schedule. It doesn't rush you or demand your attention. It's not loud or flashy. It grows quietly, in the background of your life. It builds itself in the moments you never planned for. It's in the inside jokes that nobody else gets. The comfortable silences that say more than words ever could. And the way you find yourself smiling at a text message for no particular reason. It's in the small, ordinary moments that suddenly feel extraordinary. One day, you're just living your life. And the next, you realize this person has become your favorite part of it. You didn't see it coming. You weren't looking for it. It just happened. And that's the beautiful, terrifying part of it all. It's a love story that writes itself, one little moment at a time. Honestly, I have no clue how this story is going to end. I don't know if he feels the same way I do, or if this is all just happening in my own head and heart. The uncertainty is overwhelming sometimes. I lie awake at night, replaying conversations, wondering if I read too much into a simple gesture or a shared laugh. It's a vulnerable place to be, to have your heart so invested in something you can't control. But here's what I do know, with absolute certainty. Unexpected love teaches you things about yourself you never knew. It shows you that your heart is far more open and resilient than you ever gave it credit for. It teaches you that love isn't always about making a choice, about picking someone from a lineup. Sometimes, love chooses you. It taps you on the shoulder when you're looking the other way and says, "Hey, you, this one." And even if this story ends in heartbreak, even if I end up getting hurt, I know I won't regret it. I can't. Because falling for the person I least expected has already given me an incredible gift. It has stripped away all my preconceived notions and shown me what love really looks like when you're not trying to force it. It's not a fairy tale, and it's not a checklist. It's real, it's messy, and it's beautifully, wonderfully, unexpectedly human. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe the greatest love stories aren't the ones we plan, but the ones that find us when we're busy making other plans. And for that lesson, I'll always be grateful. If you've ever felt this way, if you've ever found love where you least expected it, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. It's nice to know you're not alone on these surprising journeys. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more thoughts on life and love. See you next time!